Dr. Haida Adriananda and Dr. Ana Maria Crespo Gomez. We're both lecturers and researchers in postcolonial literatures in English. And this presentation discusses our pedagogical approach to teaching these fields in the classroom. Why Socratic circles? So, postcolonial literature, to begin with, explores the effects of colonialism, focusing on identity, cultural hybridity, resistance, and power dynamics. It gives voice to historically marginalized perspectives and challenges dominant historical narratives. However, it is taught through lectures and teacher-led analysis, which may not fully engage students or encourage critical discourse. In short, Socratic Circles is a new student-driven discussion method. It promotes deep analysis and collaborative learning. This format also ensures active participation, critical thinking on diverse interpretations by structuring discussions around open-ended questions and textual evidence. There is this first phase, which is a pre-reading, let's call it like that. And so at this point, there is an introduction where the lecturer outlines learning objectives such as critical analysis, engagement with postcolonial theory, and effective discussion practices. Also, in this phase, in this introduction, students are introduced to the Socratic circle methodology and how it fosters independent thoughts, evidence-based argumentation, and collaborative learning. Then, students are, of course, introduced to the texts. So the lecturer presents literary and theoretical texts, providing brief historical and thematic context. So, for example, Archibald, Things Fall Apart, Rushdie's Midnight's Children, Said's Orientalism, or Baba, The Location of Culture. Then we start with our dynamic that actually goes with collaborative activities. For example, there are a few activities that may be used in the pre-reading phase. So, for example, a timeline walk, which is the key historical events related to colonialism and post-colonialism are placed around the room, and students walk, take notes, and discuss connections to the text. Then also image analysis. Students examine colonial era propaganda, resistance, art, or images reflecting cultural hybridity and predict their relevance to the text. Also letter from the past. Students write letters from the perspective of a colonized subject or a colonial ruler, addressing themes of oppression, cultural clash, or resistance. Also, role-playing debates. Students assume roles like colonizers, independence leaders, common citizens, and debate a historical scenario inspired by real events. Or six-word stories. Students summarize colonial and post-colonial experiences in 6 words to spark a discussion on key themes before reading. And finally, at this point, we work on the group formation. Students form groups with 6 members in the inner circle and 5 in the outer circle, each selecting a role. We're gonna look now what inner circle and outer circle stands for. So this is the common structure for our Socratic circle. So after reading, students engage in our Socratic circle discussion. So the inner circle actively discusses the text applying post-colonial theories. The outer circle observes, takes notes, and provides constructive feedback on discussion depth, argument clarity, and engagement. And the lecturer here, that would be us, intervening only when necessary to guide the discussion. So the roles of the inner circle could be the questioner poses open-ended questions to deepen analysis. Textual analyst supports claims with direct textual evidence. The theories connects discussions to postcolonial theories like Said, Bava, Spivak. The devil's advocate challenges prevailing interpretations with alternative viewpoints. The cultural connector relates themes in the text to historical or contemporary global issues. And synthesizer summarizes key points and connects ideas coherently. While the outer circle, we've got engagement tracker, notes participation levels and ensures a balanced contribution. Argument evaluator assesses the strength of arguments based on logic and evidence. Perspective spotter highlights diverse viewpoints and identifies biases. The clarifier identifies points of confusion and prompts further explanation. And finally, feedback provider offers constructive feedback on discussion depth and inclusivity. And finally, the role of the lecturer and the screen. So the lecturer is a facilitator. It ensures that students lead the discussion. Is also a question provoker, encourages deeper analysis without providing direct answers. He is an observer or she is an observer and evaluator. Monitors flow and ensuring all voices are heard. Context provider helps students grasp historical, cultural, and theoretical frameworks. And also feedback giver assesses discussion's quality, clarity, and the use of textual evidence. And finally, the screen. The screen works for displaying text and evidence, like key passages, theory excerpts, or discussion prompts. Also to track participation, a live discussion map visualizes engagement, also integrates multimedia, videos, historical images, thematic artwork, to deepen analysis. And also live note taking, capturing key insights for reflection and continuity. Then we jump onto the post-reading, or that would be reflection and assessment. Normally, we would use rubrics. The outer circle use these rubrics to evaluate the use of textual evidence, articulation of ideas, the ability to consider multiple viewpoints, the depth of analysis in connection to postcolonial theories, the effective support of arguments with quotes and example, the coherent expression of ideas, also their responsiveness to the piece insights and counterarguments, or the contribution to discussion, adherence to the protocols of the Socratic circle. Then peer and self-assessment. Students reflect on the participation and the classmates, identifying strength and areas of improvement through a questionnaire. This questionnaire could have questions like, how well did they engage with different perspectives? Were the arguments clear and well structured? Did they actively listen and respond constructively? Or how can I improve my engagement in future discussions? And finally, there is a reflection, or that would be like a final reflection that is mostly led by the lecturer. Students articulate how the discussion reshaped the views and the insights on discussion impacts and textual understanding. So the lecturer may do activities such as a wrap-up discussion. Students share how their understanding evolved, or a written reflection assignment. Students summarize key takeaways and connect discussions to broader postcolonial themes. It could be also video or audio reflection. Optional recorded responses where students articulate their evolving interpretations, or even small group reflection sessions. Students discuss how perspectives shifted through the peer dialogue. So in conclusion, Socratic circle shift learning from passive reception to active engagement, fostering deeper analytical skills in postcolonial studies. This method enhances students' confidence, promotes intellectual inclusivity, and enriches discussion with diverse perspectives. By engaging collaboratively, students develop a more profound understanding of postcolonial literature and its contemporary relevance. Thank you, and we welcome any questions you may have.